If we consider Heal the Scars, right, stemming off of Mercy, and the story of, at least as I surmised it on introduction of song, of a mutiny tale, and the processing on part of, I would imagine, the onlooker of, do I follow through with revenge or mercy? It was a good story, and again, it fits that pirate lore exquisitely. Heal the Scars, though, is this the mediation now for everybody on the ship that's committed said act of insubordination? Now you gotta heal the wounds. This is called trust rebuilding. Anywho. I don't know. Again, I haven't looked at the lyrics in depth yet. I'm taking a fresh introduction of you in full. Not just with the song, but with Visions of Atlantis' new pieces. In general, with pirates. This has been a fun adventure we've been on together. Again, I've been saying in the past, it was mandated on our initial experience of introduction together a little under a month ago with Visions of Atlantis and 15 of their works. But ever since I left that arena, just coming off against so many re-listens to this album in particular, though the original pieces we entertained from the selections of The Deep and the Dark and Wanderers as well were quite good. And to study again the wide applicability that Visions of Atlantis exercises in terms of musical craftsmanship and different agents they employ in the symphonic atmosphere, and with power and melodic intersections as well, was just beautiful. But this album, on concept, on delivery, just really sparks an interest in me, my favorite of the releases, and to enjoy it in fullness with you. This album has been something special, each piece in particular. And the ones that got visualizers were quite strong of releases. I can see why those again were mandated for that particular presence, but these other accompanying numbers are just so beautiful on scoring. And on storytelling, they've meant so much an endearing listen, namely on just craftsmanship. And if you've not yet been introduced, as I've been saying, I would recommend on our adventure together, you go back to the origin point with Pirates. This album deserves to be enjoyed in full. But maybe you can wait in here and you'll be just as... You'll get a good taste, I'm sure, just on faith. Again, we've humored 21 numbers together. Or 20, this being the 21st. And I wouldn't have it any other way. As I've said many times, music for me, favorite artistic language in my life, a first love, really. And to enjoy it in company, I think is the best way to explore music. It wouldn't mean as much in isolation. And that's certainly true of Visions of Atlantis. To enjoy it in company again on a first debut and to perhaps permit a paving of routes for you, if you've not yet been introduced. A number of us have been. A number of you introduced me to them. And again, as I've credited many times in past coverage, thank you to each and every one of you that provided Visions of Atlantis to me as a recommended name and made them a frequent nomination in the comments with good reason. I can see why. To be introduced alongside many other competent artists in the European vein has been quite an honor. Visions of Atlantis, I love being able to showcase their work, and I do hope that some of you are approaching again from a fresh lens, that you've not yet entertained this Austrian-based talent, which is just one of my favorites to spotlight on the channel. I have not forgotten at all, again, about the initial experience. I'm taking a bit of a rewind effect, or one that permits such, with this return to Pirates. But I hope for you that you fall into a mad embrace, as I have with this group. It's deserved. And maybe in general, right? This is perhaps your first taste of European rock and metal, or symphonic metal in general. It's a favorite of mine for a reason. Again, I love anything with orchestral agents or atmosphere and vitality. This band just exercises so much in creative ambition and imagination. I cannot wait, if you've not been introduced, to have that same path explored that where I was at one point of just Visions of Atlantis being a name in passing. You get to be introduced for yourself. I'm so excited for you. Of course, we're taking that journey together mutually, right? Through fresh experiences with their newer works. And we're going to do that with Heal the Scars. Again, coming off of Mercy. Let's see if the story follows up or if this takes a bit of a deviant direction to its own respects. I'm sure it'll be fine either way. Each piece has been wildly enthralling. Beyond my expectations. I love when that happens. Heal the Scars, I would imagine, on Faith will be absolutely no different. Delicate. Let's see if it gets harsher. There's been these twists on Origin. Possibly paving again a more aggressive direction. Ballad so far. Piano interlude, great.
I can love you dearly and still let you go. I wish I was
the vocals here are incredible.
But what I didn't know.
The subtlety again of the transitions. And how delicate it is. Good choice.
Sometimes love's all over me. Sometimes love just leaves me. Sometimes love can feel so cruel.
I love how direct those lines are in that
Never be
verse.
such a fool.
This sounds like a pause work. Good place for a break.
It all falls
Like
apart.
freedom.
I see the way we couldn't take, but can we let down the walls and set it all free for all of you and me, to heal the scars, to find the key.
Wildly endearing. Good plucking pattern. Again, it's subtle. It's a really smooth piece. Different on face.
You could break the silence with anything you say. I could bear the distance if you led our way. You could see a future, but that's
Independent
not
showcase worthy number.
It was just a picture and no tomorrow. Teach me how to break your rules. I'll never be such a fool. I love
Beautiful returns. Natural swing.
it all falls apart.
Incredibly
See the
graceful.
way we couldn't take, but can we let down the walls and set it all free for all of you and me, to heal the scars, to find the key.
And that resonance with the vocals when it comes back in terms of the vibration. Just those little moments. You savor them when you listen to Clementine sing.
If you see the horizon, you can feel that I want you to.
Beautifully romantic illustration to complement.
Can't you see that there's nothing holding me and that I won't do anything for you?
Incredibly touching.
I'll never be such a fool. I love all my heart when it all falls apart. I see the way that we can take. We need to let down the walls and set it all free for all of you and I. To
The
heal
added
the
instruments
scars,
really
to
amplify the
find
mood beautifully. Fitting association. What a gorgeous number. Reminds me a lot of the mainstay with Wanderers, which by comparison to Pirates, this is a little more of an aggressive album, at least from what I've humored. Maybe Wanderers has specific tracks. Again, I'm thinking of the ones we humored in Selection, which was a total of 6. Most of those were very ballad-oriented, and so they come across again on the softer side of what symphonic metal allows for. This piece has a ballad reach. It's more of a pause number, I think, in terms of momentum between Mercy and what I would imagine would also be probably aggressive if I Will Be Gone, I would think, or maybe, this could also follow suit. We'll see. I mean, in terms of a closure track, I could see it following Ivor Path, but again, specific to Heal the Scars, the drive of this number and where it takes us together, right, in this beautiful romantic scene, again, with loose connections to the seafaring idea. You could, where was the one line I saw? Like, if you see the horizon, you can feel that I watch it too. Again, incredibly endearing. I'll open my heart when it all falls apart. I see the way we couldn't take, but we let down these walls and set it all free for you, for all of you and me, to heal the scars, to find the key. It's just beautiful. And again, that softer mood is a good choice for this piece. If it were harder or faster, I think it would be, it wouldn't gel as well. So a softer application turns this, it adds this feel to the song. Inexperienced, but I would say it's worthy of a showcase, right? I don't know if this is performed in terms of their live set, but I think it would deserve that. There's license for this number to be, again, the pause, I would say, in a faster-paced lineup. It works. And it's established well to the tone, and getting to the closure of the album, it takes us, again, on the inspirational journey, and a bit of a transformational outlook from Heal the Scars, or from Mercy. Just the wading in, it's so soft, somber, delicate, and allowing for Clementine's vocal specifically, because in most songs it's been, if not all of them, a dual presence between her and Mikel, and it's been a good duality. There's a fitting integration that takes place because the balance is just so harmonious, and it naturally collides. But to give Clementine a chance to shine in isolation with a ballad number, it's much softer, that has keyboard isolation. That piano cue worked really well. I love that. Just again, immediately sinks you into that ballad pattern that's so endearing. It works for the amplification of the mood of the piece. The pathos feel to it really works, established. And then the strings intersection comes in and beautifully amplifies the power and the emotions of the vocal delivery. But studying again the subtlety of Clementine's voice and the higher inflections, the delicate nature to it, how fragile it is, but just so beautiful, right? Luminescent. It really communicates so much naturally. A lot embodied with that song that, again, just on experience, it's just so encompassing, right? Songs like this, again, speak to the credits I've given Visions of Atlantis. I would not have it any other way in terms of enjoyment. To experience in isolation would not be the same. That's why Pirates mandated, again, a return for us to study in fullness of vision. I'm so glad I went down that route. It reminds me, again, on Origin of where we were exactly with past perusing into their works. But just to study the vision and the articulation, again, of such wide variance of agents in the symphonic... You know this if you're familiarized with the symphonic space. There are so many tools artists abroad utilize in terms of articulation of vision. Visions of Atlantis plays around with so much, but there's this wide field of dimension on craftsmanship. But to take it all in, to study it again under just one umbrella with Pirates, whereas it's not over a survey of tracks from different albums, to see it all employed here, and new trials emerge in terms of different adventures of certain instrumental use and cues that have not yet been at least experienced for me. Maybe in past albums previous to what we started in terms of coverage here, that could be the case. And I welcome any Visions of Atlantis fans who are more familiarized with their work to speak to that credit if it is deserved. But what I'm seeing here on first experience, right, that mixture of tone application and the wide palette of ability, it just means so much for me. Again, on first introductions, it makes the experience that much more meaningful. And to enjoy it with you or permit the opportunity for that, makes it even more enriching. I'd love to hear if that experience is shared with you down below. In whatever standing, again, you approach this video. Long-standing fan of theirs first impression, I'd love to hear about it. Heal the Scars follows Freedom, again, on a softer pause, but I love its orientation to the album. It fits beautifully, and it takes us down a different path, whereas the other pieces are a little more streamlined, again, towards one tone, for the most part, with some, again, variance and mixture. This piece, again, goes more in the ballad direction of a symphonic metal vein, and demonstrates, again, a particular, I would say, deviation from expectation of what people normally associate to metal, where it's all aggressive and harsh. No. As you can see, there's variance, right? That's why I welcome metal. Again, I do tend to gravitate to more aggressive myself, but even these softer pieces mean so much, and they communicate that same proficiency that Visions of Atlantis has demonstrated 11 times now on this album. 10 in past experience, going on 12 with the last piece. We're reaching the end. It's bittersweet. I will be gone, but it's been a fun adventure, hasn't it? Heal the Scars, a wonderful attribution. It changes the tone a bit, but it fits just as easily as all the other pieces do. Again, with that beautiful command that the band is oftentimes exercised and what I've largely welcomed. Again, an honor to spotlight Visions of Atlantis and to be formally introduced in a greater depth. It means so much. Heal the Scars will be as easily transfixing him as America's every other Visions of Atlantis piece we've entertained, especially on repeat listen. I cannot wait to humor it again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.